Here's a GRE data analysis question. Let's take a look. If J is the standard deviation of A, B, C, D, what is the standard deviation of A plus 2, B plus 2, C plus 2, and D plus 2? So standard deviation is an interesting bird on the GRE. You don't actually have to know how to calculate the standard deviation on the GRE. You just have to be able to understand the concept. And here is the concept of standard deviation. I'm going to oversimplify it in a big way. Standard deviation describes generally how spread out a set of numbers is, right? Another way to frame it is how much does the average number deviate from the average of the whole set? I'll give you a concrete example here. Take this set of numbers, 1, 1, 1. That's not a very spread out set of numbers. In fact, this has a standard deviation of 0. There is no deviation from the average. The average is 1 and all of the numbers are 1, so there's no standard deviation. But if I take another list of numbers, right? -5, 200, and 7,014, that is much, much more spread out and has a much higher standard deviation than this one. So again, you don't actually have to know how to calculate the standard deviation. You just need to be able to kind of identify what it is. Well, let's go back to this question here. We're told that J is the standard deviation of this set of numbers. So J is, using the magic standard deviation formula, which we're not going to cover here, J is the standard deviation of this set of numbers. And then I'm going to add 2 to all of these numbers. Well, consider what happens if we do that to these, right? The standard deviation here was 0, right? There was no deviation. It was 1, 1, 1. It's not spread out at all. If I were to add 2 to every number here, it becomes 3, 3, 3. And it's still a standard deviation of 0. It still has no standard deviation. The standard deviation did not change. Likewise, if I were to add 2 here, this becomes what? -3, 202, and 7,016, right? All I've done is shift all the numbers over. I haven't messed with how spread out they are, right? I haven't made them more spread out than they used to be. So that means if I'm just adding the same thing to every item in the set, the standard deviation has not changed. It is still J. For more GRE tips and tricks or to sign up for my online course, follow the link on my profile.